Hello, hello. This is going to be a selfie documentary that I have been wanting, the kind of news I've been wanting to give for a long time. So I'm very excited. I now know that Motorola StarTacs are handed out to people who owe money to the mob, and these people or people who just want to work for the mob, be made men for the mob. And these people, the reason it's a Motorola StarTAC is simple. It has a feature you can turn on that makes no callbacks. No callbacks, no return calls. The person you call cannot return your call. And that is a feature of the Motorola StarTAC that Motorola, in my opinion, Motorola did it intentionally because, hey, superfan, cool, nice to see you. They did it intentionally because the mob told them to do it. The mafia said, when you make this Motorola StarTAC, you put in a feature where if the phone calls someone else, that person cannot just automatically return that call. The call is masked, and they cannot return the call. They don't know the number to call, and they can't do *69 to return the call. And the mafia said, if you put that feature in a Motorola StarTAC, we will buy hundreds, thousands of them. So Motorola hired an Italian golfer. Coincidence? I don't know. But Motorola hired an Italian pro golfer to advertise the StarTAC. Coincidence? I don't know. And so they hired an Italian pro golfer to advertise the StarTAC, which was one of the earliest flip phones. And so the mafia loved that it was a flip phone that they could, hide in their, hide in their pocket there like that. And instead of the big brick phones we used to have, or the candy bar phones we used to have, right? And so Motorola said yes. Okay. So what's obviously true from piecing together the circumstantial evidence is that Motorola said, yes, we will put a feature in there where if you call someone, that person cannot call you back. And we will put that feature in there that you can activate. And so the mafia said, okay. So then this Italian pro golfer said, StarTac. And then, back home, Vito and Fat Tony, they knew the fix was in. Okay. Vito and Fat Tony knew the fix was in. And so they bought StarTacs probably by the hundreds, StarTac phones by the hundreds. And they programmed them with a cell number. And so then they hand these Motorola StarTac phones, even today, they hand out these Motorola StarTac phones. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. And yeah, they hand out these StarTac phones because they can say all you have to do is open up and then start gang stalking. Open it up, start gang stalking, because that's what they tell that. And then if you gang stalk someone, you get a point, and that point will help you to pay off your mafia loan, or that point will get you to be more of a made man, or whatever it is. And then so they say, here's a Motorola StarTac. Just open it up and start harassing someone, and we'll probably text you a script. We'll probably text you a script to read. So read the script, and all you're doing is just being an actor. You're an actor. You're not a gang stalker. You're an actor. Stalker, right? You're an actor, right? And so these people don't believe that they're gang stalkers. All right. And what I like to say is, after Motorola was successful with the StarTAC, guess what happened? They became one of the most insignificant cell phone companies in the world. Okay. So after you deal with the mafia, you know what happens. Motorola knows what happens. You become one of the most insignificant companies in the world. And that is what happens when you deal with the mafia. All right. That is what happens. You become one of the most insignificant companies in the world after you make a deal with the mafia. Remember that, companies. Remember that, companies. And I say again, if any stranger is bothering you, One thing you could try saying in verbal self-defense is 0 points for you. 0 points for you. And you know what they might say? 0 points. I'm doing a good job. I read the script just like I was supposed to. I'm a good actor. They might even say actor. I'm a good actor. I read the script right, just the way I was supposed. What do you mean 0 points? And then you can laugh your whatever off. You can laugh your head off, is what I mean. You can laugh your head off. Because if you say 0 points for you and they say, what? I read the line just the way I'm supposed to read them. They're being a gang stalker. And what they're really saying is, I'm being a good gang stalker. I'm being a good gang stalker. So if someone you don't know starts verbally harassing you, one thing to try is 0 points for you. Because they might try to say, what? I read the script just like it said. What do you mean 0 points? I need those points. I need those points to pay off my mom loan. I need those points to be a made man. Well, I need those points. What do you mean 0 points? Because they're perfectly willing to accept that you are the judge who awards points. They're perfectly willing to accept that they are an actor. They are an actor. And you are the audience. And you are the audience. And maybe you're an audience that has say in whether they are, as I say, yeah, 0 points for you. That's right. You got it. And yeah, they are perfectly willing to accept that they are an actor and you are the audience. And maybe you're an audience member who has a say whether they get a point or not. And so they're perfectly willing to believe that. And so if something's being really weird to you and you don't know them, you might just say, well, 0 points for you. And if they say, that's not what I was talking about, then that's all right. Then you just move on. But they might say, what? I need those points. I said the script just the way it said. I've read the script just the way I was sent to me. They might say that. So you need to be prepared for if they say that. You need to be mentally prepared for if they say that. To me, what they're saying is they are being a good gang stalker. And they deserve a point because they're being a good gang stalker. And so those are my two messages, that Motorola made a deal with the mafia, with the Motorola StarTac, with a secret feature where people cannot call back if you call them. Hello, spam calling. You know, I know a lot. I know that what I have done is I have muted my phone. I get so many spam calls. I've muted my phone. I get so many spam calls. But I'm not saying that I'm unusual with that. When I'm on the bus, I don't hear phones ring anymore, because I think everyone has muted their phone because they're sick of spam calls, and you can't do anything about it except not answer it. And so I say, hello, spam calling. Probably a Motorola StarTac is the phone on the other end of the line. That's right. All right. A Motorola StarTac sold to the mafia is on the other end of the line, because I've tried to call these people back and it doesn't exist. I'm like, how can they get rid of the number that quickly? Because Motorola StarTac has a secret feature that makes it so the victim, in this case, cannot call back. The victim cannot go back. Let's call a spade a spade. The victim of the gang stalking cannot call back. Let's call a spade a spade. All right. 30 a day sometimes. No, I know I'm not unusual in getting spam calls. I'm not saying that. I know spam calls are very normal, and they probably come a lot from Motorola StarTacs. And then, so my other message is that Motorola StarTacs are doing this. You could try saying 0 points for you if you want to. It's something you can do with verbal self-defense. And you have less than a minute left in your 10-minute break, so I'm going to let you go and have a good day. And hello, Superfan. Thank you. This one, I was excited for this one.